refers to the cruel, unforgiving religion of wokeness that has infested our schools, corporations and sporting organisations. Its latest victim is a young cricketer, Ollie Robinson, who should be on top of the world after making an impressive debut for England at Lords. But instead, he has been cancelled. He was thrown out of the team last week despite leading England's attack in the first test against New Zealand and taking a very impressive 4 for 75 in the first innings and 3 for 26 in the second, and being among the top run scorers when he batted. But instead of celebrating a triumphant debut, Robinson was suspended, told to immediately leave the England camp and sent back to his county in disgrace. You see, years ago, when Ollie Robinson was just a teenager, he sent some racist and sexist tweets, mainly to his mates, and he is paying a very heavy price now for the nonsense he posted on social media when he was just 18 and 19 years old. Tweets where he said things such as, my new Muslim friend is the bomb, and females who play video games actually tend to have more sex. And there were a few others that were a bit more off colour than that. But he was just a teenager. But last week, the England and Wales Cricket Board suspended Robinson from all international cricket pending the outcome of a disciplinary investigation, and that meant he was unavailable for selection for the second test against New Zealand, which is underway right now. There's no doubt some of Robinson's tweets were misogynistic and racist, but he has apologised profusely, and that should count for something.
I deeply regret my actions and I'm ashamed of making such remarks. I was thoughtless and irresponsible, and regardless of my state of mind at the time, my actions were inexcusable. Since that period, I have matured as a person and fully regret the tweets. Today should be about my efforts on the field and the pride of making my test debut for England, but my thoughtless behaviour in the past has tarnished this.
But apologies, perspective and proportionality mean little nowadays. The new woke religion that the sporting world subscribes to is unforgiving and often brutal. No absolution is offered even if the sinner begs for forgiveness. Mercy is considered weakness to the so-called progressives who think a person's character can be summed up by a few drunken tweets sent as a teenager. And let's be clear, much of the moral posturing we see from the corporate and sporting world is self-serving, vacuous and often wildly hypocritical. The England and Wales Cricket Board is happy to play against a country like Pakistan without ever condemning its discriminatory laws against women and religious minorities. It's far easier to look tough by punishing a player for tweets posted years ago than taking a public stand against Pakistan's human rights abuses. But by pandering to cancel culture warriors and launching a full investigation into Robinson, cricket authorities have adopted a harsh, unforgiving culture that will do nothing to make the game more inclusive. Since being thrown out of the national side in disgrace, Ollie Robinson has now taken leave from his county team for his mental health issues. All this over tweets sent almost a decade ago when he was a teenager. Compare Robinson's treatment with CNN's legal analyst, who wasn't a teenager when he transgressed online. He was 60 years old. But here he was this week, back on CNN. I'll let them explain.
Let's bring in CNN chief legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin to talk about this and more. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello, Allison.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, indeed.
I feel like we should address what's happened in the months since we've seen you, since some of our viewers may not know what has happened. So I guess I'll recap. I'll do the honors.
Help yourself.
Okay. In October, you were on a Zoom call with your colleagues from the New Yorker magazine. Everyone took a break for several minutes, during which time you were caught masturbating on camera. You were subsequently fired from that job after 27 years of working there. And you, since then, have been on leave from CNN. Do I have all that right?
You got it all right, sad to say.
Yes, the lefty ideologue is back on CNN. He holds on to his job. Meanwhile, we've got Ollie Robinson right now on a mental health leave after being suspended from all international competition due to teenage tweets. Seems fair?